Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, I'm joined by Dee.
Hi everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day.
We're going to be talking about Justin Bieber's recent breakdown. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know that later tonight I will be dropping a new Patreon exclusive. In this Patreon exclusive, I will be revealing the most important secret of Masonry, the secret of the 33rd degree. Unfortunately, as much as I would like to post this on YouTube, I know it would only get me in trouble and get the video taken down. So if you're one of my members, you can expect that video by late tonight. You can find the link to my Patreon in the description. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. In recent days, Justin Bieber has been plastered all over headlines for his latest appearances and behavior in public. For some reason, it seems like Justin is acting like he's back in the early 2010s, walking around looking like he's on something, posting strange videos, and appearing in his lives flustered and sickly, even lashing out at paparazzi for following him around. This is a complete drastic shift from how Justin was behaving just a few years back. Now everyone is wondering what is going on with Justin Bieber. Why does it seem like he's spinning out of control? Is it the pressures of Hollywood getting to him once again? Or is this all connected to something far more sinister? Just by looking at Justin, you can tell he's dealing with something devastating. You can see it in his eyes that he's a broken soul. Justin is another example of a child that was sold to Hollywood, sold to the industry by his mother without any remorse. While Justin did become a massive star, he clearly lost himself in the process, something the world is seeing vividly right now. This is always the end result of children that are sold to Hollywood. They always end up broken the older they get. This is what Justin is showing us. He's trying to mask his pain by drowning them in substances. This is what is leading to his drastic shift in public. This shift that everyone is noticing from Justin Bieber seems to have started right after Diddy was arrested. Since the arrest, something seems to have been bothering him that is clearly showing to the public. It appears that Justin might be more connected to the Diddy situation than most people expected. While we all know Justin and Diddy had some kind of friendship, it never appeared like they were really close. So why does it seem like Diddy's arrest is affecting him so deeply? Well, some of you might remember the rumors that were circulating in the media a few months back. The rumor was that there was an S-tape of Justin being taken advantage of by Diddy when he was younger, and the tape was allegedly being shopped around.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't
tape.
explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video graphic in nature.
Oh my.
While this tape was never fully confirmed to be real, Justin's behavior began to shift right around this time, which when looking at this video from 2023 of Diddy and Justin caught having a weird encounter, things start to look a bit more suspicious. Some of you should remember me talking about this tape of Justin Bieber being patted down by Diddy, almost as if you were checking him for a wire or something. At the time this video went viral, no one knew what was actually happening. But later, after rumors of that tape between Justin and Diddy started to circulate, this video made a whole lot more sense to me. In my opinion, it appears that Diddy wanted to make sure that he can still trust Justin, that he hadn't flipped on Diddy and started working with the feds. This to me seems like more evidence that Diddy actually did something to Justin when he was a kid. When Justin was coming up, he was likely groomed, or worse, SA'd by Diddy and others. As disturbing as that sounds, This is common practice in Hollywood and the music industry. It is basically a part of the initiation to make it in the business. Now, some people believe that Diddy just does all this because he's secretly gay, but it's much deeper and darker than that. Diddy isn't the one who started this evil practice in the industry. This has been going on way before Diddy, and it's even rumored that Diddy dealt with it too in the beginning of his career. Just like it's believed Diddy did things to Justin, it seems like Clive Davis might have done things to Diddy, as it's rumored that Diddy had to please Clive Davis in order to make it to the position he's in today. This is how the music industry secretly works. These men that run the industry groom the new guys that come in and make them monsters like they are. This is a part of the hazing process to join the club that truly runs Hollywood and the music business. That club is definitely Masonic, and I have proof that Justin was initiated into that club years ago. Since at least 2015, Justin has been showing signs of his Masonic affiliations in his music videos. As in his music video for Where Are You Now, they openly show his Masonic affiliation. In this part of the video, we not only see the all-seeing eye many times, but also in this part, they put the Masonic square and compasses right in the background. For those that don't know, this is the main symbol in Masonry. It is not only a Masonic symbol, but the actual logo for the club. Now, this isn't new, as many celebrities are Masons and show their alliance openly, like Shaq, who has pictures in a lodge and has confirmed his affiliation live on TV. Even Young Thug also has pictures in a Masonic lodge. Youngboy also shows his affiliation by wearing a Masonic square and compasses chain in one of his earlier videos. Even Diddy's good friend Ashton Kutcher confirms his Masonic ties, as he has been caught wearing a hat with the square and compasses on it. Freemasonry is a secret society that runs the music industry in Hollywood. Diddy is a Freemason just like Ashton Kutcher. When Justin was sold to Usher by his mother, he was basically given to this group. This is why in this music video we can find the symbol of Masonry hidden in plain sight. The Masons always hide their symbols right in the open. Most people just don't even realize it. Something that these Masons practice at the higher degrees is called sex magic. This is why Diddy was caught hosting freak-offs with many celebrities. They were participating in sex magic rituals. Rituals that Justin was used for when he was coming up. The reason Justin seems so broken today is because they involved him in all of this way too young. Diddy allegedly had his way with Justin and filmed it, just like they do to many other stars. This is a part of the initiation. This is essentially the hazing, like a fraternity would do. They film you getting your man card stripped away and hold it against you forever. These tapes are then used to blackmail these celebrities and keep them in check if they were to ever break their oath. This is what I believe Justin is worried about. He's worried that that tape of Diddy having his way with him will be released, with the world finally seeing what was done to him for fame. The same thing that has been done to many other celebrities. This is what happens in Hollywood, and this is also what Terrence Howard basically confirmed recently during an interview. In this interview, Justin Bieber is brought up by the interviewer, and Terrence begins to explain how when a male celebrity gets their man card taken away from them to make it in the industry, it destroys the celebrity, leading to these celebrities breaking down.
There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. They got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What's that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You should have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once it go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. Things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. It's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men, you don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. Oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication.
I believe Terrence was referring to this Hollywood initiation, where the higher-ups take what a person values most, their dignity, and then they exploit it, just to see how bad they want fame. If this is what happened to Justin, you can see why he's walking around the way he is. He's obviously broken. They obviously did something to him that he can't go back from. This is what Hollywood has done to every single celebrity on the come-up. We see examples of it every time, and then these celebrities are always crying out for help.
I feel like Justin has been crying out for help for a while now. He dropped that one song, Lonely, talking about how he had everything, but he still feels like he has nothing, that he's empty inside and basically very sad. You can tell that just from the lyrics, but you can also tell that from the actions that he has been portraying. And another video I feel like he was calling out for help in was the Yummy video. People often said that Justin was trying to expose the industry with that video. I personally never got that from the video, but now after hearing and seeing everything surrounding his downfall, I can definitely see it. In the video, he walks into a ballroom, there's children performing, meanwhile everyone else in the room is much older, and that to me seems like an analogy for his own career. When he first started, he was a child surrounded by much older people, and in the Yummy video, it seems like he was trying to make that point. And I know by now, we've all seen the multiple videos floating around of the celebrities sexualizing him when he was way too young.
100%. There were so many celebrities sexualizing him at the beginning. I clearly remember this, and I saw a video not that long ago of a full-on compilation. All these female and male celebrities sexualized and flirted with him on national television, and no one said nothing because this is encouraged in the industry. They protect each other because they're all involved in the same actions. Justin isn't the only person that dealt with this. Many other celebrities deal with this. The difference is that most of those celebrities, they fade away before they become adults, before they become older and they're able to have this breakdown publicly. But Justin, he's been in the limelight his entire life, and even to this day, he's still very famous, and everybody is seeing him under a microscope, essentially, all of the things that he's been doing. And now they're noticing that all the things that were done to him back then are having an effect on him. Remember, when this took place in the 2010s, no one was saying, oh, Justin is a victim. Everyone was just calling him a spoiled brat that was acting out, that a person that was so rich and famous, taking advantage of their fame and doing things that were frowned upon. But now in today's world, now that we know what these celebrities have actually been through, especially children celebrities in Hollywood, we look at that 2010 phase a little bit differently. It was his initial moment of crying out for help. That's usually how teenagers react or young adults react when they don't know how to express themselves, they act out. And that's what we've been seeing from Justin.
And you made a very good point. Everybody thought he was spoiled and stuff, but we have to realize he was a 13-year-old child coming from a single parent home, basically being tossed to the wolves by his own mother. This not only helped him himself, but it also helped her and their family get off the ground. And I know it might not be the nicest thing to say, but this is technically his mother's fault. She is the one who sold him to the industry. She is the one who allowed him to go stay at Diddy's house. She is the one who allowed him to be signed over to these people, allowing all of this stuff to happen to her son and just turning a blind eye, not paying attention, not caring enough to stop it from happening, or not even allowing her son at that age to be involved in any of that stuff. No parties. You don't need to be surrounded by adults who are much older than you doing things that you don't even need to be doing. Yet she failed to do all of that.
Exactly. The mother handed him over to Hollywood. She honestly, in my opinion, doesn't seem to care about any of this because she got what she wanted. She most likely is living off of Justin Bieber's career, let's be honest. Most likely has made millions because her son has made millions. And I know for a fact that she had to turn a blind eye multiple times when a lot of these situations were going on. I know for a fact that she's probably thought maybe I shouldn't let him do it, but hey, it's gonna make him more successful if he hangs out with this guy. Even if I've heard this guy does this and that, she let that happen because she wanted Justin to be as big as he can possibly be. Now, she achieved it, and yes, if it wasn't for Justin becoming an artist and signing this record deal, Justin wouldn't be a millionaire, she wouldn't have all this money. But realistically, it cost him his soul. It cost him his life. He's technically a puppet for the industry who took advantage of him since childhood and used him as a hand puppet to perform and do as they say. At the same time, exposing him to people that most likely took advantage of him. Since it hasn't really been confirmed, since we haven't seen the tape, do you think that this tape really exists? Do you really think that Diddy actually did something to Justin? Or do you think it's just a rumor and speculation?
Personally, I believe that something did happen to him, whether there's a tape or not. I do feel like something went on between Diddy and Justin Bieber. First of all, you're not going to tell me that no grown man wants to spend any amount of hours with a child who is not his. And then you can see, after hanging out with Diddy in 2009, they obviously stayed still communicating, partying, and then we have 2012, 2013 roll around. After Justin Bieber has already been exposed to all of this type of stuff, that's when his downfall really started to happen. The substance abuse was up the roof. Even his own manager, Scooter Braun, said that 19 to 21 was one of the worst time periods for him because he was literally spiraling out of control.
Me, myself, personally, I also do believe that Diddy might have done something to Justin, for sure. That's my opinion. And honestly, even the feds think that Diddy was doing things to kids for many years. Because I remember I reported on this about a year or so ago. I think it was in 2023 or maybe 2024. It might have been 2024. I reported on how the feds were looking into Diddy regarding allegations that he was possibly taking advantage of children. They asked another person that was arrested that was in the music industry named James Roseman. They were trying to get him to snitch on Diddy to reduce his time to see if he knew anything about Diddy being involved with children. So these are reports that have been going on for multiple years. This is something that people in the industry knew, people that were in the business were okay with and said nothing about. And like I said, I don't think it's just Justin Bieber that is a victim of this. I think that many celebrities are victims of this. I think that this is something that Hollywood, for some reason, protects no matter what. And even to this day, it's still protecting because think about it. After Diddy got arrested, after all the allegations started to come up about Diddy, we still don't see some of these people that these allegations are made about come out and clarify these things or clear these things up and tell us, yeah, this is what happened to me, or no, this is what didn't happen to me. And I think that silence makes it worse. I think that it just shows that they're afraid of talking and basically revealing what really happened because number one, like I said, all these people take an oath. And number two, they don't want to be embarrassed like that. I don't think any man really wants to tell the world that something like this happened to them, especially like someone like Justin Bieber, you know? He's a celebrity. The last thing that he wants is for people to remember him as the kid that Diddy took advantage of, you know?
Exactly. And first of all, I just want to point out that to me, I feel like Hollywood is just full of predators. It's very rare to find somebody who hasn't done such a heinous thing to a person, period, than to find somebody who has. There's more people we hear about in Hollywood that have this reputation. So just knowing that, the fact that these parents let their kids be surrounded by that is already a red flag. You already know what you're throwing your kids into, basically.
What's interesting about that, honestly, is that, like I said, Hollywood is ruled over by the occult. I've made this point hundreds of times. And it's interesting to see that these parents essentially sacrifice their children to the industry. They sell their children to the industry. Now, if we go back to Bible times, this is the same thing that many people were doing then as well. Many people were giving their children to Moloch and Baal, sacrificing their children for financial gain. It was believed that when you made a sacrifice to Moloch or Baal, he would grant you financial blessings. Essentially, you sacrifice your child and he gives you endless success. And think about it. In a way, that's what's going on in Hollywood right now. These parents are serving their children to the beast, Hollywood, to Moloch, Hollywood, which is, essentially what it is. They take your child and yes, they give you all this money. You make all this money. But what's happening to your child? His soul is being sacrificed, consumed by the evil of the industry. And by the time they're done using him, there's nothing left. We are seeing this from Justin Bieber. That's why when Justin Bieber was crying and warning Billie Eilish about the industry, you can actually feel the pain there. Because he knows that just like Billie was sold to the industry, he was sold to the industry, and by the end of it, she's going to end up soulless. There's going to be nothing there. And if you look at Billie Eilish, it already seems like she's soulless. It already looks like they done stripped her of her soul.
We don't see it that much with child stars nowadays, but we are starting to see it with child influencers, whose parents are literally forcing them to make videos and do X, Y, and Z for the fame. And Netflix just released a documentary on one of those social media kid stars, Piper Raquel. Her own mother was making her record videos at all types of hours, over-sexualizing her daughter when she was still in her teens. Not only that, she was also selling her daughter's undergarments to much older men.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You can see it right there. It's the spirit of Moloch. It's the spirit of Baal. Giving your child, sacrificing your child for your gain, for your success. Something that's been going on since ancient times that is still happening till this very day. And I also see another aspect of all of this, like this public breakdown that Justin is going through. To me, it could also indicate MK Ultra. We've already seen so many celebrities that go from childhood to adults in the industry have the same exact reaction, like Aaron Carter, Amanda Bynes, Britney Spears, Orlando Brown. All of these celebrities, they all went through the same stages. They went through the rise in the industry. They're given to the industry by their parents very young. They rise up in the business. They party. They do all the things that the business has to offer. And by the time that they're older, they're a shell of who they used to be. They're broken. They never fully developed correctly. And some of them have these very public breakdowns, like Justin is having right now, like Britney had, like Orlando Brown had. All of these celebrities have that one thing in common. They were young when they were stars. And then as they grow, they have this breakdown in front of the world and everyone's asking what's going on. But we have to remember that in Hollywood, MK Ultra is a big thing. Think about it. All of these celebrities that I mentioned all have substance abuse issues. Every single one of them are known to use substances. If you look into MK Ultra, the first thing you notice is that substances was distributed to every victim a part of the MK Ultra project. That was part of the technique to basically erase their mind and rearrange their mind. And that's what I believe is going on to people like Justin Bieber. I believe that when they're brought into the industry, they're introduced to these substances. They're given these substances and then they're provided handlers. And then they're molded and set in directions that they eventually are put under MK Ultra without them even noticing it. And that's what I believe Justin Bieber is going through. It seems like he's going through his own MK Ultra breakdown, and it could have been brought onto him by the pressures of knowing that tape between him and Diddy could be leaked at any moment, and everyone's going to see what he was put through,
While I definitely don't disagree about them doing MK Ultra on the kids, I also feel like it's that, but with a mixture of them being mentally and physically abused and basically being forced to suck it up and act like it doesn't affect their everyday life. And they have to grow up faster than they should. Meanwhile, these are kids. We know that when you're a teenager, when you're a child, all that transitioning is hard. You don't even know who you are. There's so many things that you're already dealing with, but then to have to take on more things, I think that all contributes to it.
That abuse also works hand in hand with MK Ultra. That was a part of the whole experiment. What needs to be done to break a person's mind? And honestly, in my opinion, that's what I believe is happening to a Justin Bieber and all the rest of these celebrities that are breaking down and all the rest of the celebrities that in the future will be breaking down. They have this system set up so that they can take advantage of these kids and no one even notices it. And these kids barely even remember what's going on when they're being pumped with substances all day. But honestly, I feel bad for Justin Bieber. Like I said, he definitely is a victim of the industry, at a certain point, you can say that he became an adult and he can make the decisions for himself and he could take himself out of the industry whenever he wants. But I don't think it's that simple. He grew up in this industry. He has nothing else that he could possibly do. He made a lot of money, yes, and he could retire, but retiring at the age of 30 and having no purpose, that's kind of not realistic, you know? But someone like Justin Bieber, all he wanted to do was sing songs. He was a kid. He was a little kid when they threw him into this life. And ever since then, his life has just been going and going and going and going. No rest. No moments of sit back and have some clarity and think about it. No, they don't give him that opportunity. They pump him with the substances. They put him on a tight schedule. They parade him around the world and they just abuse him and take from him. That's why I definitely feel bad for him. Yes, he has all this money, but what does he truly have? Does he have people around him that actually cares about him? We know his mom can't really care about him that much if she was okay with just giving him to the industry for a few dollars. We know that he doesn't have that many real friends around him if they allow him to do these substances and allow him to go through these public breakdowns. Nobody seems to really care about him, you know? Nobody seems to be worried about his well-being. All they want is to continue to make money like they've made money from him their entire lives. So yes, while he could leave the industry now and he's an adult and he makes decisions for himself, they didn't give him much options and he's already a broken soul. So yeah, I'm gonna be praying for Justin Bieber, and I recommend that we all do, and we should pray for all of these people in the industry so that they can find God and leave this demonic industry behind. Leave the Masonic ties that they're forced into. Leave it all behind and start new. Because we can use someone like Justin Bieber spreading positivity and trying to promote good values in the world, not being a mouthpiece for the Masonic system that only pushes propaganda. But I'm gonna end this one here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you guys have a great day.